Yeah, you know what? I've never done this. So, I mean, I've been on Instagram and I've been on Instagram Live. I know how to interview somebody, and I definitely am curious about all the knives you got.
Yeah, so some cool new stuff. Sorry, I'm just gonna do some camera adjustments here.
Absolutely. You know how do I get rid of people's comments from being on my page? Like how like I can't see me, but I don't need to see me.
I don't know. Oh, I think the
Yeah,
oh,
never mind. I don't see it on the live. I'm watching it also on my wife's computer. I
oh,
just see the comments like over my own face. It's cool.
it drives me nuts. Yeah, and I'm just trying to jump onto Facebook too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have to learn all that info later as far as like multiple feeds and everything.
All right, so I got 10 boxes in. Um, I picked three that I thought would be super cool. This is the first one that I have laid out um, to go through. So
Absolutely.
I don't know if you want me just to get started. You got any questions set up or anything?
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I always have like a pretty good amount of questions, especially for somebody who owns a knife shop and has your background. So I just figured we would like intermingle, I guess. Like, it's your channel. I mean, it's your Instagram. So
yeah,
you might be opening a knife, and while you're showing something, then maybe when you're starting to put a knife away that you just showed, maybe I'll throw in a question and we'll
sure.
alternate like that.
Sounds good. So we're gonna start with some of the house brand Sunahisa. Um, these are AS stainless clad Mayaki and Akiris 165s.
And so that's something for you to put your handle on, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Which
can people can buy
there's a lot
people
of
can buy it either way,
inventory.
like handleless or not handle. Like they can buy it without the handle, or they can buy it with the handle. Like,
Some, some people ask to buy them without handles. I don't know. It doesn't happen often. I have probably triple my inventory. They'll have no handles on them.
okay,
I haven't had the time with the shop and everything to knock out hundreds of handles, so I've been slacking. Um, this is the same line.
so which line was this?
Sunahisa, the Gomez Super polished sashimi 240 Gyoto, which
Nice.
entry level, great knife, right? You're going to spend under 200, right around 200. Um, and you're going to get a great performing knife with a custom handle on it.
So what's really nice is that it's a common thing I see in forums, and people ask me is like, how do they get their first great Japanese knife for $200 and under? So that's a really good answer to that
Yeah,
question.
Sunahisa is a great brand for that. What else is? Takamura's got some good options under 200. These Munishis that I've been getting, and the Minatoshis are another great option. You really can't find a knife that cuts better than a Minatoshi for under $500.
There you go.
This is Sunahisa. This is the Agome Super stainless clad, but it's the Karuchi Tashimi 240 Suji. So
That's my style. Like I like the Kurichi Tashimi finish.
yeah,
It's kind of my go-to.
and
Um,
these
I
are
get a
super
little afraid
good.
of it when it comes to scratching it or knife polishing, or it's easy. It can, you for a new person, it could be easy to rub the knife a little too high and scratch it.
Yeah, yeah. People try to get too low of an angle. I feel like I feel like often people are trying to get this ridiculously low angle that you don't need. Like I
Yeah, no.
sharpen the knives a little bit higher. I'd rather have edge retention.
So it's funny, like you mentioned that people don't realize, like if you break glass, you're
Yeah,
afraid to touch the glass because you know it's going to cut you. But a lot of times, a broken bottle, like a piece of glass, is like 90 degrees. And the reason it's so sharp is the grain structure of the glass. So if you
yeah,
have like a really good polished edge, and no matter what the angle, you're going to have a sharp knife. You don't have to keep making it thinner and thinner and thinner.
Yeah,
It's not that you can't thin the knife. You and I agree that when you own the knife, it's your knife. You can do whatever you want to do. But to make it sharper, you don't need it thinner. You just need good technique.
yeah, no, definitely. I had bought a Moritaka and I literally thinned it before I even used it. And people are like, "You thinned a Moritaka?" I'm like, "Yeah, I wanted it to cut like on Ryu. What do you want from me?"
It's your knife.
Yeah. This is Sunahisa Western handle. It's a VG10, 45 layer Damascus with a Tashimi finish.
I would tell anybody who's jumping into knives, starting with a nice VG10 or any of the powdered steels where you can go stainless, they don't really understand maybe when you get into carbon, it's an extra layer of responsibility. Not that they shouldn't do it, but if you're just getting into really sharp knives, good knives, you don't have to jump in completely into carbon.
No, and I'm a firm believer. I've had VG10 from Kenichi Shriaki that will outperform blue number two. Like it's heat treat and his quench, the way he did it. I swear to God, I have one still left that he did before he retired, and it will outperform most blue two. Just because he was a small producer, he focused on it.
So for those who are getting to know you while you're opening boxes, you used to be a chef.
15 years, yeah. 15 years in the industry all around the country. These are a new knife for us. Kyohei, like Kyohei. I haven't done any research really on the blacksmith yet. Younger guy, bunkers, they're going to be affordable. They are blue number two.
For anybody watching who doesn't know, Dustin's got a 10% off on his entire site right now.
Till we open.
What is that?
I said till we open. Once we get the store open.
Okay.
Here's the Kyohei Agome number two, Kuruchi Funayaki. This is new for us.
Don't hurt yourself.
Sometimes they overlap paper in there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've had that trouble.
So basically, you know, that same Gyocho type of shape.
Yes.
These are, I'm not sure. I think these are 170s. Pretty cool. Little,
yes,
like Santoku type deal, you know?
For anybody watching who doesn't know what that knife is for, that is your multi-purpose knife. That is your fish fillet, your deba, your utility. That is your everything. That is your Santoku. That is your chef knife. That is an everything knife. It's a little thinner. It's a lot thinner than, say, a deba knife. And it's 50-50 bevel.
Yeah. Double bevel. You know, one of my favorites, Fujiwara Denka.
I have one. It's, yeah, you can tell it. And it's iconic. It's instant.
People complain low spots or bad grinds and stuff like that. Like, to me, it's about the fact that I'm buying something that a guy really made himself. And yes, fit and finish isn't his thing. I'm not buying a knife to make it look because it's pretty. I'm buying it because of performance. Like, the dude invented how to.
Hard. That knife is thin. That knife is sharp right out of the whatever. I mean, it is incredible. It's an extremely hard. It's a 65 Rockwell.
65, 67 with his own Agome Super, and him and his father are the ones that invented the way to forge weld stainless steel.
Yeah, your only history. I mean, absolutely. That's why I got one.
Yeah,
you
incredible.
have a knife on your site right now that I really want. It's the 195 millimeter Fujiwara that I'll convince you to put a custom handle at some point, and I'll grab it from you.
Some Takamura brothers are amazing, right? VG10, Tashimi. These are really affordable. These are like $135, and Takamura is regarded by chefs all around the world. Rene Redzepi of Noma uses
Are
talking
they
about.
known for the VG10 or known for the R2?
Um, they're they're known for the R2, obviously, but their VG10 is great. Their heat treat on VG10 is really good, and I mean, it's gonna beat out your Shun VG10 for sure, and cost less. So, I mean, who's the idiot, right? Um, these are Kawasaki, VG10 Fujin, the
Beautiful.
Sumonagashi, right? The 180 Gyochos,
Yes.
customs coming up, right?
That's the 180.
Yeah,
Nice.
180.
Um, what came first, knives or being a chef?
What do you say?
What came first? Like, did you love knives because you were a chef, or became a
Oh
chef
yeah,
because you
for
love knives?
sure. I got into Sean's. I mean, shit. I was 17. I'm 32, so 15 years ago. I got my first set of Sean's, and there was a very popular chef back then, Laurent Gras, and Sean did a limited line with him, and he's a French chef, obviously, Laurent Gras, but he
Okay.
only did Japanese food, and he got Michelin stars and was incredible and was like my idol at the time, and he had his own line by Sean, and I loved his knife, and that's what got me into it. These are Muniishi. Muniishi, newer to us. They got into cutlery in like 1979. Younger blacksmith, I think he's in his mid 30s. Took over for his father. Really affordable. We have a lot in Gome or they're all Gome number 2. Some are stainless and some are ironclad. So
I think a lot of people might not know, like, your site has a big price range, like everything from beginner prices all the way up to that, like $2,000, $1,000+
yeah,
limit.
we're trying to have more of the Hanyakis, and I want to get into the high end stones and the high end knives and everything. But last weekend I sold 3 Hanyakis and the Kagura. Somebody bought the Ken Kagura, the
Oh,
$2,600.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's been sitting on there for a minute, but somebody really had to appreciate that.
I got a left-handed version I'm going to put up soon. The only 2 we made for the year.
Okay.
This is Muniishi 180 Kyoto with the stainless cladding.
Okay, but what makes it a left-handed version? Was it
It's not.
50-50? Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry if I said left-handed. I'm sorry. His Gyotos have like almost incredibly flat profile with like a little round at the tip, and I kind of enjoy it. But it's definitely different than what you see. But these knives are also $100, right
Yeah.
around the $100 price range.
So how do we end up owning a knife store?
Uh, so I started collecting knives, right?
Yeah.
And then I decided to start making handles. I approached a couple handle makers. I won't mention their names, but the cheapest price they said was like 130 or 160 bucks. And I said, well, fuck you, I'm going to make my own handles. So I started making handles, and then I called every knife shop and every wholesaler I could and said, buy my handles. And then a couple shops did, Knifeware, Cook's Edge, who else is using them? Gage used to up in at Sharp Knife Shop. Whatchamacallit, Chef Knives to Go used them for a little bit, but once I got into selling my own knives, like, so we started getting busy with the handles, and I was like, why don't we just start ordering knives? Like, I got close to Achieva, and then next thing I know, now I got all these knives and we're opening a store. This is new for us. Sumihisa, it's I believe it's Shiragome number 2, 180 Isuros.
Nice.
Finish. They
That's
made by
really beautiful.
Sasooka
Oh,
Brothers.
wow. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That is a
And this
super
will,
square edge.
and this will
180.
be,
I can't
I
tell.
bet,
Is that Kuriichi finish on that?
what do you say?
Is that a Kuriichi finish on the front?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
Karuchi on the top half, and then you have Kasumi on your
Yeah.
Shinogi line.
Yeah. Nice. I
Um,
don't. Yes. Beautiful.
these are by the Sasooka Brothers, which so the price range would probably be about 170 for these with custom handles.
So it's 170 before it's handled or with the handle?
What do you say?
It's $170 with the custom handle or without?
Yeah, that's what they'll probably be around. I don't know off the top of my head. I gotta look at the invoice, but
So this is a new house you're living in or a new shop that you moved into?
new condo, new shop. So everything's a disaster right now. That's why I haven't posted lately.
It's okay. This is life. Onward and upward.
So it appears that these were free. Happens sometimes. I think they were. I think they'll end up being about $170
There you go.
with a custom handle of your choice, or with one that I decide to put on there. I'm taking very limited amounts of custom orders right now.
I saw that I was on your site earlier today for a while looking, and I saw that you've been kind of without handles for a while, but you've been busy.
I don't have time to do the handles. Like I owe Knifeware handles, I owe Shiba handles. I owe all types of people handles. I don't have the time,
So when do you think your store will be open?
I think we're gonna shoot for grand opening of September 15th.
Well, there you go. Everybody listening, if you're in the area. I know that we've sent some people your way for like fixing knives and sharpening knives, people who were asking stuff on forums and online, and they didn't realize where you were located. They were like an hour away, but
I'm an hour away?
from the people who had asked,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you and I are far away. I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
I'm hoping that's where shop number 2 is there, buddy.
There you go. I'll find the location. You just send everything.
South Carolina is on our list where we want to move. So second location will be down south.
Okay, so let me go ahead and tell you the competition that you don't have. You only have a store called Southern Edge, and all they have currently is everyday carry. They had some kitchen knives, lost their connection in Japan due to COVID. So other than some guys learning how to sharpen on a Tormek 8, which only the owner knows how to do, that knife shop is in a really good shopping center for tourists, people in the area to come and shop. I mean, it's a great shopping center, but they only offer everyday carry.
Yeah, well, I mean, South Carolina sounds good then.
Yeah.
I hate New York. I hate it here.
Well, whenever you're ready to come
I live
down.
in Buffalo. We get 2 seasons, winter and summer. And the summer only lasts for 2 months.
Well, when you were planning on coming down, I'll take the day off. We'll do whatever, and we'll show you. I mean, I've lived here my whole life. We'll show you everywhere that you would possibly want to put a shop, show you all the different places to live, where's the best land. It's nice because you can be in the city or out of the city. I moved out to get a bigger house and get a yard, and then I'm in it in 10 minutes.
Yeah, so Charleston was always on my list because of food, being a chef.
Well, that's a good choice. I mean, Mount Pleasant, Charleston, a knife shop downtown, definitely, I could see that as a great possibility. It's a little more, considerably more expensive to live, but still, I think you would be extremely happy down there. There's some things, you know, that we won't talk about on it. That there's some things that you and I share outside the knife world that we've discussed, and Charleston doesn't always lend itself. It lends itself more to the New York state of mind than the regular South Carolina state of mind.
Okay.
But that's you know, that's a different kind of thing. When you're downtown, it lends itself to New York state of mind. When you're outside of downtown, it lends itself to normal South Carolina, kind of free spirited kind of a thing. But you know, we look forward to you coming down, and I mean, hell, I'll take you down to Charleston. I know my way around.
I've never been. I lived in Houston for a while. I found Houston to be very tough to live.
Okay.
Different way of life.
So some of the general questions I always like to ask knife collectors is, what's the knife that got away?
Knife that got away.
The one that you just should have held on to, that you kind of thought about keeping it, you sold it, and you're like, man, I wish I'd have kept that one.
There's a couple. I had a couple Kenichi Shiraki Hanyakis from like the beginning that I always said I was gonna keep one, and I kept it, and then I listed it one day and it sold, and I was like, fuck, I should have. Like, it was a mirrored blue #1 Mount Fuji mirror polish, just absolutely gorgeous.
Yes. I think I know the knife.
I was not happy. But whatever. I can always get, you know, I can't get one from him, but I can get another knife, you know.
Yes. So is there any one knife in the house right now that's kind of your go-to, that's your kind of, it's your fan favorite?
Unitoshi.
I don't know it. I'll have to go on your site and check it out.
Unitoshi is made by an old man. He's almost 80. His name is Turamaki-san.
Okay.
He's known around Japan for making heavy-duty blades, like blades that cut steel, blades that would be on like machinery and stuff like that. So he makes knives from Shiragome #2, but he doesn't do any fit and finish. Like, if you see Munitoshi on like KNS or something that's polished, or on Knifeware, it's finished by somebody else. It's not finished by him.
Okay. So I'm on your site right now. How do you spell it? MUN. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I see it. And I noticed, I don't know why I didn't notice this before. I'm really in love with Hatsukoro.
What'd you say?
I'm just letting you know I'm super in love with Hatsukoro. The Hatsukoro knives.
Oh, yeah.
Great knife.
Great knife. So the Munitoshi I love because it's heavy. It seems like it's gonna wedge, but it cuts like a laser, and it can stand abuse all day long.
Okay. Well, I've already got mine on.
I'm almost ready with box #2 here.
Okay. So what ended the cooking career?
Well, I started my dad told me to go get off my ass and get a job at 14.
Yeah.
So I went to a local pizzeria and washed dishes under the table, and I used to like go over there and cook, and the owners would yell at me. But I used to cook with my Polish grandmother, and I always said I was going to be a chef one day. So at 17, I got offered a job at a double platinum club, Buffalo Club, where Millard Fillmore, one of our presidents, was a president of the club. And the chef said, if you get your GED, I'll take you on full time, because I wanted to drop out. So I did.
We got somebody in the comments that said their Munitoshi quickly became their absolute favorite Gyuto.
Munitoshi?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So these have been newer to us. The Hinokunis, who used to make knives with Nishida. This is a 240 Kyoto. They're Shirogome #1, and they're super flat profile.
Wow. How long is that?
Huh?
Well, how long is that knife?
240.
Okay. What's the price range of these?
The Hinokunis, I think this is under 200.
Wow.
There's another Hinokuni. This is a 210 version. So Shirogome #1. Almost got a mirror polish with the Kasumi finish.
It sure does.
They're definitely ironclad, right?
I see he makes a 210 millimeter Nakiri.
If they make a 210 Nikiri, yeah. Super cool. This is the 180 Gyoto, I believe.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Extremely flat.
It's like a super flat profile, but when you see it Santoku, it's like super. It's cool.
Are all these companies sharp out of the box, or?
I wouldn't say all of them, no.
Is your wife a big lover of knives?
She is now, yeah. She uses blue #1 Yoshikazu Tanaka Damascus Nakiri, and she one of the best cutting knives.
I mean, you just said a mouthful. Tanaka, Damascus.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Blue #1.
From Sakai Kikamori, it's one of the best cutting knives I've ever had.
Yeah.
Top 5 Smiths for me.
Well,
Yoshikazu.
yeah, Tanaka's I own 2, and Tanaka's.
I don't think Kiyoshi Kato is making knives anymore. It's been a while. This is 210 Yukorosaki Fujin VG10 Sumonagashi with the rosewood handle.
So you were saying you don't think Kato makes knives anymore?
Kiyoshi, father.
Okay.
Yoshimi is making knives, yes. His father, Hiroshi, is no longer making knives.
There you go. People are hearing it first, if they didn't already know.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they know. He hasn't made knives in years. So these are single bevel Mabaroshi Debas. This is the 210.
Okay, I'm interested in this. By the way, Hado Knife just joined us. If you don't have Hado Knives in your store, you can say hello to them.
Who's that?
Hado Knife.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, they've been kind of making a big splash on Instagram a little bit, and I've seen them in. They're in like Burnell Cutlery.
Oh, really?
Yep. So you might have to give them a quick shout out. They only make so many knives. I mean, they try to focus on a very small amount of shapes. They didn't get too fancy. They just kind of focus on doing really good on that one product.
Here's a 300 Inagi by Sumehisa. This is a Shirogome #2. It's a newer line by them.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
And super affordable.
Who made the Moroshi Deba that you just had?
That's Sumehisa also. Yeah.
Okay.
Sumehisa is a brand by Shibata-san.
I have one.
So Sumehisa is the same as Haruyuki, is the same as if you go on what's the site? Hitsuhira and their Ginsan Nishiji, That's the same as the Sunahisa. They're all made by the same people. This is the Mabaroshi wide handled, because I don't do the Western handle. 240. Girigome number 1, stainless clad.
Yes.
Beautiful
Now,
knife.
again, those are I can't remember. I know the CG line I think is pre-laminated and everything before they get there. They spend a little more time on that line, and then the Dinka is all in house.
Yeah, so the Nishiji line is pre-laminated. The Mabaroshi is forge welded in house, and so is the Denka. So these are highly anticipated. Now Yamamoto, I think, is one of the biggest up and coming blacksmiths. He took over for some big shoes, and this is his 240 Kyoto with the Gome Super. Sumonagashi, Tashimi, Karuchi.
Is that taller than normal?
Look at the distal taper.
Oh, yeah. Is that a little taller sitting than normal?
It's definitely about probably 2 to 3 millimeters tall.
You know, it comes up a lot that people who are larger will ask, you know, what's a good knife that has knuckle clearance? So definitely people would want to know this line. And that line was, again?
This is now Yamamoto Gome Super. My thing with knuckle clearance is if you see most chefs work in the kitchen, they work with their hand off of the cutting board.
Okay.
They do that because they're tucked in tight at a 90, right? So you're at a 90 degree. So you don't want to reach out like this. So you're cutting in close to you. So your hand is typically off the board. These are Yoshimikato BG10, the nickel black Damascus 240s.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah. His BG10 is really, really good too.
Yes.
So customs coming, as soon as we get the shop open, custom handles will start flowing.
So one of the viewers wanted to know if you have any shigs.
If I have any what?
Shigafusa.
I have Shigafusa ordered. Last time I knew, the wait list was 5 years.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with their wait list. I can't do it. Good for you.
I ordered about $100,000 worth of Shigafusa knives.
So I'm winking at you right now for that inside scoop. You know, that first knowledge that the shigs get there.
Yeah, we'll see how many come. So this is a knife I've been waiting for, highly waiting for. I finally got the Yukorosaki Raijin 240 Gyocha with the Cobalt Special Steel.
Yeah, now I would love to know more about this Cobalt Steel. I don't know anything about that. That's a stainless, right?
Yeah, it's very similar to Gome number 2, with more chromium. Cobalt Steel's been used in a lot of tools for years, like drill bits for heavy machinery and stuff like that. So, you know, Yukorosaki's whole thing is he just wants to innovate. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And that's why I fell in love with him, because he was the well-trained young gun who was shaking it up, showing people that, you know, you can kind of paint outside the lines a little bit.
Yeah, but is that cool? Is that cool that all you're focused on is being the next cool person, or is it cool that you're making the best product out there?
Well, I was going to say quality's got to come first. I mean, if you're not making quality product, it doesn't matter if you're painting outside the lines. I mean,
and I'm not saying he doesn't make quality products, but I'm saying there's 10 apprentices in his shop on any given day. So how much of the work is he doing anymore, you know?
I don't know.
Which is not a bad thing. Teach the next person, you know what I mean? But
sure.
I think people buy them with this regard that they're getting this knife that, are they buying it because it looks cool, or are they buying it because it performs great? You know, everything.
So I have one of his, the 170 millimeter AS Bunka, and it's the Fujin line,
Yeah.
and I have treetop hair with that. I've got a ton of videos on YouTube and shorts and stuff like that with that knife, and of course I think at that moment maybe he had one assistant. It's been a minute. But it sharpens extremely fast. It really does not have any type of oxidation at a rapid pace. I think I've heard some people say that a lot of his Tashimi hammer marks do kind of like gather food in them, maybe because they're like straight.
With everyone, I've had people complain about knives that they were Takamura VG10 and the Tashimi mark, because they sandblast the Tashimi out typically, you know, the marks.
Oh, yeah.
So the woman bought it, and there was like a little bit of what looked like rust, but it was really just carbon deposits, right?
Okay.
She's like, there's rust on it, all this stuff. I was like, just wipe it out. It's carbon from the hammer mark. Like, you can't, they sandblast it out. It's a handmade knife. Like, people don't understand some of that. Like, yes, it's stainless steel, but the thing is, it's semi-stainless steel, not stainless steel.
Right. I was going to say, it stains less, and if you hammer really hard through the stainless cladding, you will expose carbon. If it's a carbon cladded knife.
Yeah, and if you hammer really hard, you know, oftentimes they push right through. Kevin, yeah, we got a bunch of now Yamamoto. I got 210 and 240 Kyotos. All right, this next one should be pretty cool. I think some people are going to get excited about it. And I have, like I said, I have some other boxes too. That I'll open another day that have some other cool stuff. Somebody was asking about, or talking about, the Fujin AS line. I just got the whole lineup. 270 Gyoto, 240, 270 Tsuji, 210 Gyoto, Santoku, Bonka, Mikiri, and Petty 120 Petty.
So, like, I keep noticing I'm on your site simultaneously, and I've literally watched you for the last couple of years really expand and grow at a pretty rapid pace, I've got to say.
What'd you say?
I've just said I've watched you for a couple of years really grow as a company. I mean, from the couple of lines that you had to like really carrying a lot of companies.
I never thought we would be here. I thought I would still be working a regular job, making handles on the side, being a chef somewhere. All right, everyone close your eyes. I'm going to hide these boxes.
Right.
Hopefully nobody saw them.
Luckily, we can't see all around your house, so.
Yeah. Well, everyone's going to get excited. My phone's going to blow up the second I fucking get done with this video because of it. So.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah, kind of. But they're all handleless, so I got to put handles on all of them. I've been waiting about 2 years for these.
You got to stay alive long enough to get all these handles done, man. Don't give yourself a heart attack. You got to stay alive long enough to get all these handles done.
Yeah, for sure. It's not easy, man. Like, people don't realize, like, I didn't realize how much opening this business was going to be a pain in the ass.
So just so people know, like, very soon I'm going to be having a video of me. You saw some clips of me, like, trying to make a handle. I don't own a shop. I don't own tools. I went to a shop that my buddy owns. He's a home remodeler. He actually had to go out and buy a big sander for me to use. He said he would use it, but he purchased the sander for the video. And we got some blanks from Exotic Blanks. And at first I tried with just some hand tools and just like, okay, this isn't fine. I recorded myself with hand tools. Like, this is impossible. So first off, you know, to let people know, like, you have to invest in some machinery. Then you have to become accustomed to using the machinery. So in the video, you're going to see the knife that I use have a handle where the handle was purchased from someone else, because I made a handle from start to finish and had it on my knife, and it was gorgeous. I was proud of my handle, which I have pictures of. But then I went to like touch it up, and that sander just, yeah, and it was just done. I mean, so when you see these perfectly even octagonal D-shape, shiny, like cutting the hole for the blade, I mean, it's hard. And you know, it takes, people don't realize you're not really also paying for that handle. You're paying for all of the pieces of wood that got thrown away to learn how to make that handle.
Yeah, there's a lot of labor involved. All right, so we're going to start with some Sunahisa stuff again. These are some handleless that some customers are coming to. Most of this is handleless. This is the AS line, Tashimi, Guruchi, stainless clad, 150 petty. Nice. This will be like $115 with a handle, you know, 125. So they're super affordable. You can't go wrong.
You know, to apologize to you real quick while you're going to the next box, you and I were in a discussion one time, and I misquoted myself, and you corrected me, and I appreciated it. I had made a comment about not thinning knives, and what I meant was I'd like normally sharpen a knife at the angle of the original blacksmith, and it came across as that I didn't believe in thinning knives. And so, you know, you were like, there are reasons. And then when I went and saw Ryan Swanson, he showed me the reasons. And so when I do a video for the YouTube channel on thinning knives, just to point out, like, years of sharpening, moving the edge back, making it thicker. I mean, obviously there comes a point you got to thin the knife.
Yeah,
But when I did it, I misquoted, and you came to me and you were like, "Hey, Greg," and you did it on the side. You didn't do it like a big public thing about it. You know, you were just like, there are reasons, and I misspoke. And so the people who don't know, you know, you and I have had like occasional, we don't have like a lot of conversation. We have the occasional conversation behind closed doors, just kind of moving forward.
I respect what you're doing, and I think it's cool. I think you found a passion in this, and it's awesome. But even me, I mean, I have people argue with me constantly about, you know, this or that or this or that. You know, I had a woman, there's two main handle companies in Japan that produce almost all the handles for most of the blacksmiths. Some of them make their own, but they're the two main companies. Yes, there's 10 other small companies, but these are the ones that produce every one of those magnolia wood handles, all that shit. And this woman's like telling me I'm an idiot one day, and I'm like, you talk to these people? Like, I deal with them. What do you talk? Like, how are you trying to tell me right now? And sometimes you just, you know, in this business, you gotta let it go.
So it's you know, for those who are listening, I will say, I've had constructive criticism. Sometimes people don't realize it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yeah.
That wasn't cool how she said it. Like I said, you came to me on the side and to say something, to teach. I have read a lot of your very long-winded posts where you had gotten into it in a forum. Anybody who knows you knows that your knowledge isn't just reading, it's living.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Like you know, I mean, you've been spitting off blacksmiths, their history, their apprentices.
I try to know it all. There's a lot, you know. I don't know all of them. I don't know everything. I don't make knives, but I also feel like there's a lack of respect. Like, try to teach somebody instead of trying to put them down. You know.
Yes.
This is a new line from Sunahisa for us. This is the OS 10 mirror polished Damascus.
I have not owned one of those yet or sharpened it or anything. It's beautiful.
210 Kiritsuke. Those are nice. I've never got these before.
And that's in the stainless family.
What is that?
That's a stainless knife.
Yes, stainless. OS 10 is stainless. So here's the Santoku version. Sashimi, yeah. Right? It's a nice one-piece handle.
So is that like Damascus cladded over the OS? Or is it built into
when
it?
you do the Sumunagashi, yeah, it's only on the bevel. They lay two bars together and then have it only overlap on the bevel.
Okay.
This is the Nakiri of that same line. It's actually pretty nice.
Yes.
I'm not sure on prices yet, but I'm going to try to add all these knives in the next couple of days.
And again, another thing that people don't understand, like, so here you are inventorying, then you have to put them on the internet. You got handles to make. You got handles, you know, I mean, even when you photograph them, put them on the internet, and then you got to make handles for other companies, and then run a store that people might walk into the store, and then you sharpen knives, and you test stones.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot going on. I try to stay busy. This is back to the Sunihisa Tashimi VG10 Sumunagashi Western handle. This is a 180 Gyoto. Perfect gift for somebody that is new into knives and doesn't want something too big.
So, you had been getting natural stones lately for your store?
Yeah.
And you've really tried to grow in that area? Are we going to continue to expand in that particular?
There's always, I have lots ordered, lots that are being mined specifically like that I chose.
Okay.
So that's my try is to be the biggest natural stone dealer in the United States.
That's an amazing thing to say out loud. Yes.
All right, guys, you can see the box now.
Yeah. So
if you don't know about that, then
these are Akita made on Ryu.
Yeah. Bunch of on Ryu without handles. So, and it's not just any on Ryu. It's his AS line. AS Bunka.
So my very first Japanese knife, like leaving the Shun line, like going into blacksmith, artisanal blacksmith, it's an Onryu 210 millimeter Kuriichi Tashimi AS. You know, it's Yuto. It's beautiful. I've sharpened it a lot. It's in videos. It's just your good all around. If you didn't have any other knife. It does it all.
For the price point, I mean, I love Onryu, but I don't love like super thin laser type knives. I like something bulkier that you can get to cut well. Okay. This is Onryu, which is obviously made by Takumi Ikeda now. AS Santoku. Tashimi, Karuchi, right?
Yeah, and you can, his patterning is different.
The pattern's a little different, and the finish is a little different.
Yeah, it's a
the
little
core
lighter.
Steel, the way the core steel comes out, it's not as cloudy.
Yeah, okay.
But you have to realize Takumi Ikeda has been doing majority of the work for the past 5 years.
Well, so I was just getting ready to bring that up. Like, somebody mentioned that I got my knife 2.5 years ago at Christmas. And so there's really no way of knowing if mine 2.5 years ago was either old stock that never sold or...
Exactly. You won't know. Even if it was signed on Ryu, it was probably Takumi that made it.
But so, it had the older finish. It doesn't have any of these newer finishes.
Yeah, no,
But
that's you have to realize it's not Takumi that's changed the finish. It's his new apprentices that have changed the finish.
okay.
You know, he's got somebody finishing for him. This is an AS 210.
Yeah, that's the new version of what I have.
Yeah, the Kuruchi isn't quite as dark, and the core steel is brought out with a sandblaster instead of a traditional Kasumi finish.
Okay.
It's very
So,
reminiscent of the way R2 core steel comes out
so do you polish knives yourself at all?
all the time. Yeah.
Okay, so I haven't dove into this. Yeah, I have the natural stones for it. I have all the different stones for it. And I think like sometimes when I get to like say my Tanaka, like 240 millimeter Kuritsuke, that's like, the core steel is super shiny mirror. And then the Kasumi is behind it up on the Shinogi before you get to the flat. Like I'm worried that if I get a scratch in the mirror edge, that I'm not going to be able to polish that out without messing up the Kasumi.
It's not easy. You can do it with the right stones and the right practice. You can do it.
Yeah, is
Um,
that going to be more like finger stones kind of in there doing that?
uh, for the Kasumi, I use finger stones a lot. I also use like I'm working on a Hanyaki right now. That's a Mount Fuji, but it's more of a Maigaki finish, so it doesn't have the Hamon brought out a lot because it was all finished the same grit type of. So I'm
Okay.
working on with finger stones, Shiro Suda finger stones, to really bring that in and make the whole knife cloudy. So the whole
So
knife will look like a
I have
Kasumi
no
finish.
experience in this, so this will be a new adventure for me.
These are new for us. Kumo Bunka. This is used to be on Ryu. Now it's Takumi Ikeda. Rosewood handle. Um, it's the Kumo line, which means clouds. That's what they made the Damascus pattern after. And
So
it's
you said this is Takeda?
yeah, Takumi Ikeda. Takumi Ikeda.
Takeda, I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, on Ryu's nephew.
Okay.
And then, all right, last thing, and this is all the same knife.
Now, is that
Tons
going to
of.
be listed under Akeda on your site, or is it going to be listed under on Ryu?
I'm gonna switch everything over to Ikeda. It'll still be called on Ryu. I think in about 3 years you're gonna see 2 to 3 years you're gonna see Ikeda give Kurosaki a run for his money with
Well, I
innovativeness and
mean,
everything.
he already has his own. Like his Hanyaki is revered.
Yeah, I mean, I have some Takumi Ikeda knives that came in, and they're incredible. I don't even want to sell them. Like, but in his line, he's had a line out for years. Um,
Yes,
so Senko Bunka SG2 R2. See how the
beautiful.
quartz steel reminds you of that AS?
Now, why does it have? So it has the stainless cladding over powdered steel.
Yeah, because the powdered steel is not technically, um, it's semi-stainless.
Okay.
They
So can
they
you get a patina on that?
no, it would just rust.
So you can't like force like a coffee patina on an R2 stainless cladded.
No, you can acid etch it.
Okay.
Think about nickel Damascus and all that stuff. Like acid etching does something to that R2.
Okay. We're all learning from you today. And so for those of you thinking about getting into an intellectual argument with this gentleman, he's teaching me stuff today, and I'm thankful to learn from him.
Yeah, I don't know everything. I just try to spend the past 2 years of constantly learning and being wrong and getting better and you know.
Yes.
So my wife's kind of into it now. We're starting to get a local following that's good. And obviously my internet following is pretty decent, but we want to grow. We want to, I'm tired of a lot of the big name sites, marking the price of knives up and then discounting them and saying that they're on sale. Well, they're not on sale. You just marked them up an extra $100 and then marked them down 20%.
There you go.
I don't know if anyone knows who does that, but there's a couple sites.
Marketing at its best. So anybody watching, I haven't sold any of the shirts from any of the companies that people haven't found my store. I'm still publishing the store. But just so you guys know, if you would like to get a realsharpknife.com shirt, I'll definitely on my site put a link. I'm going to be ordering one from myself. I do advertise your shirts.
Link. I can put a link on my site to your site too.
Yes, and I'll send you your own personal coupon to make sure you're not paying anything to order your own shirts.
Oh, I'm not worried about that.
Well, if your wife needed something or somebody needed something, at least, your friends and family can not have to pay,
So anyone else with questions?
So, it's everything from, I got a cutting board series going on. I don't know if your site, carries accessories like cutting boards, and you're a chef, so there's cooking utensils.
Yeah, there's utensils. We're constantly trying to find new products. Obviously, it's not that easy all the time, and it's big spending. My focus in the beginning of this was to grow inventory so that I could compete with Knifeware and Chef Knives to Go and Carbon and all those places. I had to have inventory. Well, me and Shiva got a really good relationship because he started buying my handles. And then I got in good with a couple other places, and we just found that it was working good. And so this past year is, 18 months has been focused completely on store opening and growing inventory. Now, new products. And one of the things we're going to do at the store is have an area for any local artists, any local, could be a fucking candle maker. They can come sell stuff on consignment, because we want local people that are trying to produce their own product and trying to have their own business to be, centered and focused on, even at our knife shop.
Have you made it to Japan to meet some of these people?
No, I was supposed to honeymoon there when COVID hit. That's when all this kind of kicked off. So,
okay.
I think Shiba might be coming to the opening if they open the doors, the borders, which would be cool, having him doing sharpening demos.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that would be cool, huh?
I'll ask you two more questions that I know specifically I would like to answer. One is just a quick, I'm going to try to make it to Seki City Knife Festival next year. So it's an open invitation. And if you haven't been and I need somebody to travel with me, just to let
me
you
and my
know.
wife need to go.
There you go. And then the other thing is something that I think you have insight on. And listen, you said some stuff today, like you don't mind calling out your own self that I personally, I'm going to say that I think I'm just an incredible knife sharpener. That's my niche. Like, I'm a sharpener first, collector second. I don't know all the stuff about knives or whatever, but I can sharpen the hell out of a knife. And you have a little more insight on, we'll call it the Shibata technique.
Yeah.
I'm looking this up. Like, everywhere I look, I'm hearing somebody say he uses more of a toothy side, like maybe he only sharpens one side to a certain roughness.
Left side to 2K, right side to 6K.
Left side to 2K. So if I'm right-handed, my inside on the body side
is 6, and the outside is 2. He believes when there's some grit and some serration still a little bit, it's going to cut better. And it's true.
Okay. So, I definitely, you know what it is? I want to be, I want to let you know that I have some people messaging me, and they just told me some info, and I want to be able to pull that up. in just a second because it's interesting. Some clarification. I guess. So I'm going to end up doing an episode on what you just said. I'm going to sharpen a knife
Yeah.
on a 2K on the inside and 6K on the other side. So I'm excited to make an episode out of that. So somebody privately messaged me, and it was popping up on my phone, that there's 2 Akitas. There's like one that's on Ryu's nephew and not isn't in maybe. And hold
Akita,
on.
yeah. Yeah. There's 2 different Akitas. Yeah. There's a Yoshikazu Akita that does Hanyaki work and high-end knives. And then there's Takumi Akita that's on Ryu's nephew.
Okay, so I think it's the one that does the high-end knives that I'm used to drooling over the Hanyaki.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm good. I'm glad to know that.
My Hanyakis are from Nakagawa Kaija, who is apprenticed to Kenichi Shiraki. Kenichi Shiraki was probably one of the best Hanyaki makers and Ginsan makers I've ever heard of. His Ginsan will outperform AS sometimes.
Okay. Well, I'm just learning that there's 2 different blacksmiths with the same knife.
And it's about these guys do 4 knives at a time, when they quench. Not like they might produce 40 knives a week, not 200,
Yeah. Well, it's my dream list to get the Hanyaki, and I think I'm going to end up selling a hell of a lot of knives to get one. A guy named Damien, who's a knife sharpener out of Croatia, he was just telling me that that's just the end all be all. And are you still there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry.
Okay, you were complaining about my end, and I got scared.
People were complaining about their view on Facebook.
Okay. Listen, I just want to tell everybody, I have gotten a knife from you. I'm on your site all the time. I will say that a good thing that's been going on is if I'm on your site, a lot of times stuff I'm looking at's already gone. I mean, your inventory moves fast. That's a great problem to have.
We sell a lot of stuff quick.
So congratulations to your success. I appreciate the opportunity to ask some questions. I appreciate the viewers coming in today, making this not a dull moment. People chimed in and gave us some questions to ask. So good luck on your store opening. I look forward to having you in Myrtle Beach on the show live. Maybe have you cook something. I have a beautiful kitchen that you would love.
I've seen it here and there. I can throw down a little bit.
I got all the food. One episode I got coming up, I think that's going to be exciting is I'm going to attempt to cut everything with just a 300 millimeter knife. To be like curing hulling strawberries and doing garlic and just, the audacity and monstrosity of a 300 millimeter knife being used for everything. But no, I mean, to have you in the kitchen, to go through the collection, to have you talk about these things.
That'd be cool.
My son, I know my wife is watching. She's getting ready to die, whatever, when I say this. My son asked me, he goes, how many knives do you have? So I'm including all the Hinkles, all the Wusthof, just so my wife hears me who's listening. I think we're at 56.
That's pretty solid.
I mean, we're definitely at 30-something of the artisanal blacksmith.
I'm at about 30.
I don't know what that sound is coming in. There's a sound coming in. Can you not hear it?
I got a call.
Okay.
Somebody call after business hours, wanting special treatment or something. Love you guys.
Yeah, right.
I wanna take a second. I want anyone that watched. I don't dislike Yu Kurosaki. I like Makoto Kurosaki really well too. I just think Yu Kurosaki is different than what original Japanese culture was. Japanese culture was always about perfecting what you were doing to the best of your ability. Yu Kurosaki is always moving on to what the next coolest thing is. And that's a very Americanized part of him. And it's not a bad thing. It just means that, he's different from what you see from the typical Japanese blacksmith that spent their whole life making hanyakis,
So, it's really nice for me personally. So I studied 8 martial arts. I only have a little bit of conversational Japanese knowledge. Definitely can't pronounce all these names that you're saying. I'm a black belt in Aikido, and I'm super excited to maybe finally get to Japan and see all this. And a lot of people really don't actually know what you just said, that one of the reasons I love the Japanese culture is the absolute search of not only perfection and things, it's in oneself, it's a pride, it's, you know, do one thing, do it slowly. When you
One movie, Gyro Dreams of Sushi.
send me a link,
If anybody
I'll look it
watches,
up.
if anyone watches that movie, this 80-year-old man works 80-hour days. He had the #1 sushi restaurant in Japan, and he sat in the same car of the same train every single day going to work. He did the same thing every single day for his whole life, and that's just trying to be perfect.
Yes. And I just have so much love and respect for that. And I think it sounds like for you as well as for me, that's one of the reasons that we gravitate towards that, is there's a
Yeah,
lot of self-responsibility for one's actions.
it's very
And
different than American culture too. American culture is very different than that. We want the new thing all the time, you know?
yes, listen, again, good luck with your move. Good luck
Oh,
with the
appreciate
store.
it.
Good luck with stuff. I'll contact you at some point about that 195 millimeter Fujiwara Dinka Gyuto.
Yeah. Let
That'll
me
end
know.
up with a beautiful custom handle.
Yeah, we'll look you up.
All right, brother.
All right.
Listen
Thanks,
to
guys.
everybody on my
Thanks for
end. Thanks for
checking
the
in.
night.
Bye, everybody.
All right, buddy.
See ya.